The left hook, as Larry told you, a Philadelphia staple. Remember Joe Frazier?
Watch your head!
It has been 78 years since a fighter began his professional boxing career with as many or more consecutive wins than Julio Cesar Chavez. Right now, the 66-0 record, which was such a landmark in the history of the sport, the best in the last 78 years, is in serious jeopardy. As round 11 comes toward a close, Julio Cesar Chavez must begin to contemplate the reality that he's got 3 minutes in which to produce an unlikely knockout, or he will see his streak end before thousands of his countrymen.
The impressive thing, he's still seeing combinations thrown by Meldrick Taylor. Here in the 11th round. Incredible.
2 hard punches at the bell after a furious round like that.
And Taylor was woozy and almost went to the wrong corner. He doesn't have a lot left, Larry.
Julio,
You've got to go for this round. When the bell rings, you've got to go, throw your punches.
Tú lo puedes noquear todavía, Julio.
No, this is the last round. The whole fight is right now.
This round depends on you. Need it now.
No.
You need this round.
No, the fight is hanging on this round here, Mel.
This is okay, champ. This is the last and final round. You know what the man told you? No. Nobody called you? You know what the man told you? No. You want to be champ of the world? You want everything? Vamos, campeón, vamos.
Come on, champ.
Julio, tú eres más fuerte que él.
You're stronger than he is,
Tú
champ.
puedes más que él. Vamos.
You're more than he is.
Seconds out.
Harold, how do you have it?
Larry, 9-2, 108, 101. Meldrick Taylor, I think he's won his way to a unanimous decision.
If you're a fight fan, get ready for 3 minutes of high drama now, as a desperate and determined Julio Cesar Chavez tries to take out a fading and battered Meldrick Taylor, who has completely dominated him through most of the fight. Both of Taylor's eyes are closing. The blood continues to flow from his nose and his mouth, but if he stands up, he wins.
And he's a warrior. Look at him. He's trying to stay there and trying to apparently push Chavez out. Play it safe and box.
Meldrick Taylor said before the fight, he'll take me to a higher place.
He's there right now. He's there right now, Larry. No question about it. Well said. That is a tired Meldrick Taylor slipping to the canvas. 2 minutes to go. Maybe 2 minutes left in Julio Cesar Chavez's historic unbeaten streak.
You would expect the aggression to be with Chavez. It's more so with Taylor. He's felt like he's behind on points.
Well, they're both tired. But you're right, Ray. It doesn't appear at this moment that Chavez has the stuff to get it done. More pawing than punching now, at a time when he needs the best. Another solid left hook from Meldrick Taylor.
If he gets up, he probably wins the fight. I can't believe it.
Unbelievable. Richard Steele stopped the fight with fewer than 5 seconds to go. You're going to watch Lou Duva go crazy now. You're going to watch Lou Duva go absolutely berserk. This is one of the most unusual calls by a referee in the whole history of the sport.
5 seconds left. I cannot believe they stopped that fight. From the point of view of Chavez, it is one of the most dramatic comebacks in the history of the sport.
Larry, the official time will be 2:58 of the 12th round. He knocked him out with 2 seconds left. Ray Leonard, do you believe it?
I can't. I really can't.
Richard Steele is regarded by most as the best referee in the sport. He has really put himself on the line. Harold Letterman, your response.
Jim, the last round is the only round that you can be saved by the bell, okay? But the referee obviously doesn't know how much time is left in a round.
That's right.
Had not Steele stopped the fight, it's very likely that Meldrick Taylor may have won a decision. But the last round is the only round in which you can be saved by the bell. Very, very interesting.
So if Richard Steele didn't stop the fight, Chavez would never have thrown another punch.
Had the judges had Taylor ahead on the scorecards, as we did, Taylor would have won the decision. Very interesting.
There's very little question of that, Harold, unless they were watching an entirely different fight. Here's another look.
It was a solid right hand thrown by Chavez, his desperation punch, if you will, because throughout the whole fight, Meldrick Taylor fought an impressive fight. The left hook set him up for the right hand. And Meldrick trying to hold himself up, get hit by a solid right hand, and goes to the canvas.
Now, here's where Steele makes a critical decision. Taylor was up, my memory tells me, by the count of 4, Ray.
I think it was 5. He was up.
You're right, it was 5, 7, 8, 9. Now he looks at him, are you okay? And stops the fight.
You notice Meldrick looking at his corner for instructions.
He couldn't answer Steele when Steele asked him if he was okay. Is that what's critical, Harold?
That's the point. Meldrick Taylor did not respond, and that's very, very obvious. And when you're a referee, if the guy doesn't respond, you have no choice but to stop the fight, because Meldrick Taylor could have been very, very seriously hurt. Therefore, Richard Steele made the right call without question.
That is Steele's criterion here.
Exactly.
If you see it again, Taylor looked at him but didn't say a word and then looked away.
Right. He didn't respond to Steele's question when Steele said, are you all right? There's no doubt that Richard did the right thing. The man could have been seriously hurt. It's a shame that it had to happen, but I agree 100% with the referee in this case.
All right, I think Larry Merchant may be ready to talk to Richard Steele. They're standing in front of a camera right now, and Larry's nodding at me, and yeah, let's go. Larry with Richard Steele.
All right, I'm with Richard Steele, the referee. Richard, you described the end of the fight and why you stopped it.
Well, Larry, I stopped it because, you know, Meldrick had took a lot of good shots, a lot of hard shots, and it was time for it to stop. I didn't, you know, I'm not the timekeeper. I don't care about the time. When I see a man that has enough, I'm stopping the fight.
Did you ask him a question? Did you ask him what his name was, where he was? Anything to find out whether he could have gone on, which turned out to be another 2 seconds in the fight?
No, I didn't ask him a question. I asked him, was he all right? And I didn't hear him say a thing, but I was looking at his condition mainly. That's what I was interested in.
Given the stakes of the fight, given the tide of the fight, should you have looked back and seen where Chavez was? Should you have given this man in a fight this big a chance to survive?
There's no fight worth a man's life. I don't care what it is or how many I do. When I get tired of seeing a guy getting bound, pound, and I think he had enough, I'm going to stop him.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now back to you, Jim.
And right now, let's go to ring announcer Chuck Hull for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Richard Steele stops the bout at 2 minutes, 58 seconds of the 12th round. The winner and now holder of both the WBC and IBF 140-pound championships from Culiacan, Mexico, Julio Cesar Chavez.
And there's a look at Chavez, and Larry Merchant is with him.
All right, Julio, give us your idea of what happened at the end of the fight.
Darles la idea que tú tienes de la pelea, de la última parte de la pelea. Lo que piensas tú.
Bueno, realmente me sentí cansado, la verdad, sinceramente.
He felt really tired. I felt very, very tired, to be real.
Mi pelea, Meldrick es un gran peleador.
Meldrick's a great fighter.
Es un peleador muy rápido e inteligente.
Very, very intelligent fighter and very quick
Se merece
fighter.
otra oportunidad.
He deserves another shot.
Did you think you were losing the fight and would lose it unless you knocked him out in the 12th round?
Si tú crees que estabas perdiendo la pelea y la única manera de ganar era por nocaut.
No, yo sabía que la pelea estaba muy pareja, cualquiera podía ganar.
I think that he thinks the fight was still a close fight.
What was so difficult about fighting him?
¿Qué era lo más dificultoso de pelear a él?
Es un peleador rápido, inteligente, le tiras un golpe y te pega 3 golpes.
He says a very intelligent fighter, very quick fighter. He'll throw 3 punches, and he'll throw 1 punch, and he throws 3 punches back.
Julio, is that the toughest fight of your life? Is he the best fighter you ever fought?
El mejor peleador que has peleado. Si él es.
Meldrick sí es uno de los peleadores más fuertes, más duros.
Yes, he's one of the toughest fighters.
And you think definitely that there should be a rematch?
¿Sí crees que debe haber una revancha?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Julio. Great fight, great comeback.
Julio, okay for the camera.
Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Larry. And just to set the record straight about what was at stake when Richard Steele made the call to stop the fight, our information from the Nevada State Athletic Commission is that Meldrick Taylor would have won a split, not a unanimous, but a split decision. One of the judges had Chavez ahead, but 2 others had Meldrick Taylor winning the fight. So Richard Steele, in effect, prevented Meldrick Taylor from winning a split decision by stopping the fight when he did. Harold Letterman has already offered his opinion, Ray, that it was an entirely justifiable decision. What do you think?
It's a horrible scenario because it was just 2 seconds away from winning or unifying the division. And I think that with Richard Steele, the referee, he's a very competent referee, and he was doing what he felt was in the best interest of the fighter. There's not too much more that needs to be said, Jim.
Let's give credit to Chavez for what has to be seen as another of his long string of incredibly willful and courageous performances. He had to come up with something in the last minute of the fight, and he did.
Well, it was a complete shutout up until like 2 seconds before the round was over. And Meldrick Taylor fought the most perfect fight I've seen in boxing. Tactical, strategic, he did what he had to do to really nullify Chavez.
This defeat will do nothing to diminish the reputation of the great Meldrick Taylor. And Larry Merchant is with him right now.
All right, Meldrick, give us your version of what happened at the end. Did you get any kind of signal from the referee asking you how you were? Do you think you could have gone on?
The fight was 2 seconds in the 12th round. There's no one in the world in hell that he should have stopped this fight. Me leading on the scorecards going into the last round. I got hit with a good punch. I went down.
Here, let's say it here. You got hurt by a right hand. Describe the rest of us.
But I got here, I was exchanging. I should have stayed away from it because I was leading. He caught me with a lucky punch right there. Combinations. And I basically should have closed the gap in between. He caught me with a right hand. Okay, I took the shot. And I got up. He didn't say anything to me. He didn't say, "Are you okay?" Count. He didn't give me no kind of directions in the corner. And he just stopped the fight. I looked at him. See, he's counting.
All right.
He asked me, was all right?
Yeah, he's still, look, he's nodding his head at him, Larry.
He said, I'm okay.
You're telling him you're okay.
Yeah,
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. He's nodding his head. You're all right.
I'm right at Chavez and said, I'm okay. Then he just stopped.
All right, Lou Duva, manager and co-trainer. Lou, what was your view of that? Should he have stopped the fight? He says I don't know what time it is. All I know is I've got a hurt fighter in front of me. I don't want him to get hit anymore.
Bullshit. I don't believe that there. He got up. He started to pick up the count. At 6, he got up. And he kept talking to him. And you'll see him, look at the photo again, and you'll see Meldrick nodding at him. And he was okay. And forget about it, he didn't know the time. They got to give the guy a chance. It's a title fight. He wasn't getting hurt out there.
You're saying, Lou, that the referee should, in a fight of this magnitude, somehow take that in consideration, especially
Absolutely.
what's going on up till now.
Absolutely. The fight was a great fight. Both fighters were great out there. Let the fighter fight out there. He must have had some semblance of how long it had to go on there. But the kid got up. He got up at 6, and he counted 6. Take a look at the photo, and you'll see it at 6, Larry. It wasn't at 9. It wasn't at 10. It was at 6. He was up, and he was looking at the referee.
Let's see if we can take another
Take it
look at
back.
that.
Take it back and
Fellas
you'll
back
see
in the
it.
truck.
Right.
Here it is.
Watch when he gets up. Watch when he gets up. Now watch what the count is when he gets up.
Wobbly or anything.
Now watch his fingers. See his fingers? Now it's 7. See it? Now it's 8. Now it's 9. Right? Now he's looking at him. Now he's not stopping the fight without even giving the kid a chance. Come on, for Christ's sake. That's baloney.
Did you think you were ahead in that fight, and why were you successful up until that moment?
Well, I know I was ahead because I throw a lot more cleaner shots, a lot more flurries. And leading to the last round, I got a little careless. Was trading his punches and stuff, should have stayed away with the jab. But still, you know, the fight was that good that it should have went to 12 rounds, and it was just premature that he stopped the fight like that, you know, of his magnitude.
Just let me get this straight one last time. When you were up, and you were up at about the count of 5, actually, because it was when he counted 6, he was looking straight in your face. Did you try to signal him in any way, I'm okay, or did you just assume that you were going to go on and finish the round?
I nodded and said, yo, I'm okay. Then he looked at me and waved his hands. I couldn't believe it. I believe he was stopping the fight.
You'll see him nodding out there, Larry. If you look at that, you'll see him nodding when he's over there. At the count of 6, he's nodding at
Chavez congratulated you on a great fight, and almost the first words out of his mouth was, he deserves a rematch. Do you want a rematch?
I most definitely want a rematch, because this fight should have been mine. This should have been in the basket. I had leaned on the scorecards, and then it was premature that Richard Steele would do something like this and start the fight under this false pretense like this with only a few seconds left in the 12-round fight of this magnitude. And I had a clear conscience. I got up to count of 6, okay? And I grabbed the rope just to keep my balance. And it counted 8, 9, 10. I looked at him, and 9 minutes, I'm ready. Then he just stopped the fight.
He was ready to go out there, Larry.
I don't understand it, Larry.
Thank you very much, Meldrick and Lou. Back to you, Jim and Ray.
All right, thank you very much, Larry, and brilliantly done. You heard the talk there, Ray Leonard, about a potential rematch. Of course, there's been a lot of discussion as to what can happen in the future to either one of these fighters, perhaps moving up to welterweight to fight a Marlon Starling, perhaps going back down to lightweight to fight a Pernell Whitaker, or most likely meeting each other. And let's campaign right now. I want to see it again. You want to see it again?
Big time. I want to see it again.
What will this do to the frame of mind of a Meldrick Taylor, who fought about as brilliantly as he could have been expected to fight and wound up losing on a knockout in the last 10 seconds of the fight? Is it going to discourage him and set him back, or is it going to give him more incentive to increase his greatness?
Viewing Meldrick Taylor tonight, I'm led to believe that he's going to be even greater, even faster, stronger, and even more confident, because this kind of fight here only makes a fighter better.
After what happened to Chavez tonight and the punishment he took through these 12 rounds, what could he do to turn the tables and come out and be more effective against Taylor the next time?
You know, they say styles make fights, but then again, Meldrick Taylor made the fight. He did his thing. He outpunched Chavez, he outscored him, he threw body shots. He was doing everything that normally Chavez would do. I'm very impressed. I tell you, I'm very impressed with Meldrick Taylor.
All right, thanks very much, Ray. It was a brilliant bout. We're going to be talking about it for a long time. Larry Merchant, you've seen a lot of things in boxing, but this one writes another new chapter. Who gets the credit? Who gets the blame?
Well, first I want to say, is this just the start of the 90s? I don't know if I could stand this anymore between Tyson and Douglas and Chavez and Taylor. Earlier, I tried to say in any number of ways how tough a man Julio Cesar Chavez is. I told you how Angelo Dundee said he was the toughest fighter he'd ever seen. I said, tougher than LaMotta, tougher than Marciano, tougher than Frazier. He said, the toughest I've ever seen. After all the punches he took in this fight, to still be able to find somewhere in the depths of him the strength and the will to finish that fight that way, even if Richard Steele had allowed it to go on and if Taylor had won the fight, is simply amazing. I think Richard Steele made a mistake. I think that in an event of this magnitude, you cannot dismiss what has gone on in the past. You have to have some sense of where that round is. I believe that Taylor could have endured. I think it was an injustice to him. No discredit to Chavez at all. I just think it was a mistake. Referees sometimes make mistakes, just as fighters do, and a big one. And just as we had a controversy that was a bogus controversy in Tokyo, I think this is a real controversy, but the winner is still the winner.
But this is a controversy which is going to build and kindle, rather than diminish, interest in a sport which you have so accurately called the theater of the unexpected, and which was once again the theater of the unexpected here. We're going to see a rematch of this as soon as both fighters can get ready to do it and make the deal, I think.
You know, at the top of the show, I said how we were expecting a 4-star banquet. And along about the middle of the fight and into the 8th and 9th rounds, it seemed to me, well, we are seeing two great athletes really give everything they have and show us technique and courage, but it lacked the drama. But boy, by the end of it, I guess we've now got about a 5-star banquet.
Yeah, no question about it, indeed. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Ray. It was a privilege, as always, to work with the two of you. And as Larry suggested, sometimes you get a chance to build up huge expectations for an event, and the event not only lives up to those expectations, but surpasses them. Those are the moments in sports which are longest remembered. We expected, we asked for, we promoted a great fight here tonight. We saw a brilliant performance by Meldrick Taylor, which ended in defeat. We saw a less effective performance than usual from Julio Cesar Chavez, which ended in the 67th victory of his so far unbeaten career. It was chapter 1, and only chapter 1, of a drama which promises to play into future chapters. Two minutes, 58 seconds of round number 12. Meldrick Taylor's demise at the hands of Julio Cesar Chavez. To be continued. Stay tuned immediately following HBO's World Championship boxing coverage for One Night Stand. Charles Fleischer on the East Coast and Lean on Me on the West Coast. And be sure to join us April 14 when HBO Sports will present an IBF middleweight championship fight as Michael Nunn defends his title against the WBC welterweight champion Marlon Starling. So now for Larry Merchant and Sugar Ray Leonard, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from Las Vegas. The executive producer of HBO Sports is Ross Greenberg.